So yeah, let's restart this. So a while ago, or I wanted to tell this story. A couple days ago, some people on my Discord were talking about Run 8 and the fact that devs haven't really been very communicative, and we all agree that that's I mean, they've said there's reasons why that they're not communicating, but we all kind of agree that they should be, just because it helps. But Biggie John and Jammed Ham and I on my Run 8 Discord, some weird names, but whatever, we were talking about this, and we're talking about how a post on one of the Facebook groups had been deleted. And Biggie goes, or Jammed goes, probably before it got to Run 8 win constantly, because they were like, why are they, whatever. Biggie goes, if they actually communicate with the community through official channels. Jammed goes, I think they got into trouble with Dovetail or something. Biggie goes, well, who knows? We don't, but they do. And then John goes, that's mentioned a long way back about being quiet because of something to do with them. They used to have a forum, but I forgot why, but something went bad and they canned it. That was in the V1 days. Knowing that happened with DAMS in the original servers, some people got really pissy about each other. And I say, I've told the story before, and I think somebody had asked me what had happened with it. So here's the story as I know it. I'm not going to use names of people. But as far as I know, the developers never really had any beef with, had never gotten into any kind of trouble with the Dovetail guys. In fact, the moniker that Run 8 has always used has kind of been taking a stab at Dovetail and their complete and utter incompetence when it comes to making train simulators. They can make pretty train simulators, but pretty is about all they can do. When Run 8 first came out, there were two official channels where you could get information about Run 8. You could go directly to the Run 8 website, and you could go to the Run 8 website, and that would have all the updates and everything. And you could go to the forums that the Run 8 devs had for a long time called Run 8 America. And those forums were, pretty good. They're pretty civil. People would post about, when they're hosting sessions. People would post asking for assistance, solving a problem, a bug, or whatever. People were posting suggestions. People were posting really, screenshots and all, and videos and all the really cool things that they were doing with Run 8. Soon after that, some of the private groups, or some of the groups that sprung up, some of the community groups, that you have now, they started getting into the idea of having their own forums as well. DAMS and RTS were some of the first. I believe RTS was actually one of the first servers to go 24/7, but the one that went 24/7 and really took off was DAMS, Diverging Approach Multiplayer Simulations, or DAMS for short. DAMS very quickly grew as a very popular place for everybody to go, to the point where it was recommended by the developers on the Run 8 website as the place to go. And after a while, you kind of had this divide. On one side, you had everybody using Run 8 America to get all of their Run 8 information, and you had DAMS doing the exact same thing. And so there was a bit of a divide, and there were people who were only on Run 8 America, and there were people who were only on DAMS, and there were people who were on both. So it kind of, there's obviously going to be a little bit of confusion over which source of information you should be, using to get information about the game. So eventually, the developers shut down Run 8 America and said, we're just going to focus on DAMS. That's where we're going to put everything. And there was two reasons that were given by the developers for this. The first reason was, as I mentioned, just there was too much of a divide. They wanted to consolidate all of the information to one community group. And two, they're having a hard time moderating their own forums. They even said, it's like, well, we can't spend all day moderating our forums. There's only a few of us. We got to eat, we got to sleep, we got to go to our regular day jobs, and we got to work on Run 8. We don't have enough time in the day to continue moderating our own forums. DAMS already has a good staff, a good group of moderators. They already have well-established community. We can all just move over there, and they can handle the moderation and everything. And that was good. And that worked for a while, for quite a while. And then I'm not going to go and start digging up like old forum posts and stuff and trying to find time frames here for this stuff. But after a little while, one of the developers began being a little overzealous with his moderation, a little over the top. And part of what the DAMS forums did that was really good was if you made a forum post and it went against their rules or against their community guidelines or whatever, it wasn't deleted. They would move it to an archived area where only moderators and admins could see it. And at the time, moderators and admins could do that as well as just straight up delete posts. And this kind of helped the moderators and everybody kind of keep tabs of, oh man, this person made a problematic post 6 months ago or 6 days ago or whatever, and he just made the same exact post. He's not getting the idea that we don't want this content or whatever, just whatever. It worked, it was a system that worked well. Well, one of the developers, because the DAMS staff, the DAMS admins, made the devs all moderators and all gave them like special titles, so you could tell on the forums when they would make a post that they were the dev and what they said was true. But eventually, one of the devs was going a little overboard and just straight up deleting posts. I even had one of my posts deleted, and kind of what triggered it was myself and a few other people contacted one of the admins and said, "Hey, we're making posts on the forums and they're just disappearing. What gives?" And the admin, my specific one is I asked a question about the passwords and everything, and I said, "Hey, how do we go about doing this one specific thing?" And no one ever answered it, and it just got deleted. And when I contacted the moderator, he saw in the logs, he's like, "Yeah, I see you made the post. I see somebody replied to it, and then I see the post was deleted. Just deleted by this other man. I'm going to look into it." And he got back to me and he told me that there was, several other posts that had been like that. That I wasn't the only one that was seeing that. Then this all happened very fast, and this is all stuff that I was told secondhand. So I kind of saw some of it, and some of it other people have told me. One of the admins, or one of the devs, wanted more admin control over the forums. What ended up happening was the DAMS admins took away the moderator's ability to delete posts. The devs, one of the devs, didn't like that. He wanted more moderation control. He basically wanted to have 100% control of the DAMS forums. He wanted the admins of DAMS to effectively step down. And when the admins of DAMS wouldn't do that, one of the devs kind of lost his cool, it seems like, and went on this long tirade. All the Run 8 devs left DAMS. They then went through, and the head admin of DAMS, they blocked his ability to get onto the Run 8 website. So he could no longer buy or download. He could no longer download updates. He could no longer buy content. And that admin, seeing that, basically said, "Well, fuck you too," to the Run 8 devs, and said he was no longer going to continue to support Run 8 in any capacity. That the DAMS forums would no longer be a home for the Run 8 community. And I think all the Run 8 forum topics on the DAMS forums were removed, and I think the DAMS forums are gone now. I'd have to double check. And that kind of left the community scrambled for a while. And since then, the devs they've popped up in a few different places, kind of here and there, but they don't have any good central location that they post information to. You kind of have to dig around on Highball, or the Run 8 community group, or trainsim.com or any other obscure little place where the devs are posting stuff. But yeah, after that happened, it was definitely the devs went really radio dark on everybody, and it really sucks. It really sucks. I really wish they would be a little more communicative. They would tell us more about what's going on. One of the reasons why they have given in the since DAMS and everything kind of fell apart, one of the reasons the devs have given us for not communicating was, if we're telling you guys what we're working on, that's not us working on it. It's kind of like, yeah, I'm totally making, it's like while I'm typing up my report, my book report, I'm totally working on my book report, but I'm not, like, you can't say you're doing something if you're doing it, right? Like, I can't sit there and say I'm driving to work if I'm sitting here at home. That kind of deal. I know that's not making any sense, and I'm trying to find a way to make that make sense. Basically, the devs said, we're not telling you what's going on because we're just so busy with working on what's going on. We can't tell. We just don't have the time to tell you. And that, in my mind, translates to, we understand that that the large percentage of the Run 8 community is gimme pigs, and not just the Run 8 community, the Train Sim community. They are very much gimme, 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 gimme. Or let me beta test that. If you need beta testers, let me know. Hey, can I beta test that? Can I beta test that? Can I beta test that? And so I think that's part of the reason why the devs aren't communicating that kind of stuff with people, because they don't want to get inundated with emails and comments and messages and all that kind of stuff asking for things. So it's easier to just say, yeah, we're working on it, don't worry about it, than to be letting us know what's going on. It's kind of a weird, back and forth double-edged sword. Either you don't communicate with everybody and we're all like, man, what the hell's going on? Nothing. And we all start to lose interest, or you communicate with us and we all jump on you like the animals that the Run 8 and Train Sim community are. Long story short, the devs are still working on V3, even though it's been a year since anything has been said officially. And they are saying stuff in some unofficial capacity in places and things like that. And I honestly wish I had a bigger following on Twitch and on YouTube and everything, specifically for Run 8 stuff, so that way I could be like, hey guys, look. I have so many viewers on my Twitch, and I have so many views on my YouTube channel. Just once a month, email me something. Email me a screenshot. Email me some news about what's going on. So that way I can share it with the community, and I could be that PR guy, or even, grab a couple other people, not just myself, and have us be, the PR guys for you or whatever. But it is what it is. I'm gonna... Let's see. Oh, the other thing. Man, I completely lost my train of thought there. Anywho, that's kind of my 2 cents on Run 8 devs not really communicating with the Run 8 community as much as I wish they would. It's just we all wish they would, and that's also the story of, from my understanding, and kind of boiled down a little bit, and having some of the, having names. I mean, if you really look into it, you can figure out who it is. I still think the devs are, I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think they're working pretty hard. But they've done some things of kind of, hey bro, pump the brakes on that a little bit. But that's the story of how DAMS fell apart and kind of divided. Because here's what happened, right? Here's what happened when DAMS fell apart and people, the DAMS servers shut down, and everyone, DAMS said we're not doing anything with Run 8 anymore. People were like, where are we going to go to meet up, to post about our servers and everything. And I think that's about the time that the Run 8 Community server group on Facebook started up. It might have already been started up, or it started up around that time. That's when groups like Highball and The Depot started up. And if you're asking, well, Kaz, you run the CMFR. Where was the CMFR during all this? Doing our own thing. The CMFR has been around since early days of V1. We were one of the first. Like, we weren't the first. I will not take that title. That title I do again believe belongs to RTS. But we were one of the very, very early server groups to go 24/7. Even though we haven't been 24/7 constantly, we were one of the first, like one of the first 5, maybe top 5. But we never really took off as much as the other groups, and they were just kind of like, I just kept it kind of small with my own friends. So, but if you're watching this section of the stream has actually been recorded separately, and we uploaded to YouTube as its own thing. If you've been watching that, I do these streams all the time and have longer conversations with people, so you can always come in and hang out. I know this was about a 15-minute video inside of a 2-hour-long live stream. So if you're watching the live stream, you're watching it live. But I'm going to end the recording and start doing my outro because I'm just not feeling Run 8 tonight.